I'm sure that most of you have heard of the concept of the horse whisperer or the dog whisperer, and it's a mindset that people can use as they're training animals. And the concept is that a calm firmness, a calm steadiness is what you bring to the equation when you're engaging with that animal, and you're going to have much more success in getting along with them and having a sense of rhythm with them. Now, you notice Gus in the background there. And by the way, many of you have made some very kind comments about that. I appreciate it, and Gus appreciates that. I got Gus about 5 years ago from a rescue, and he was about 10 months old at the time, and we found out very quickly that he had some anxiety issues. Particularly, he had a lot of separation anxiety, and it was something that we had to be aware of right from the very beginning. And so we did a lot of work in bonding with him and showing him that we're here, we're available, we're safe, and it was a wonderful kind of training time. And now you see what the result is. He is Mr. Relaxed, he's Mr. Chilled, and for the most part, that anxiety is pretty minimal on the inside of him. Now, when we deal with narcissists, we want to take a somewhat similar approach in the sense that we want to have that calmness and that firmness combined together, but we do have a little bit of a different kind of a goal. With animals, you hope that the animal is going to be able to pick up on your calmness and then match pitch with you. With a narcissist, there's no guarantee that they're going to match pitch with you at all, at least not in the positive sense. Now, if you go into the negative direction, they'll be more than happy to go in the negative direction with you, or they pull you into their negative direction. But when we take this, what we're going to call a narcissist whisperer approach, we're going to do so with the understanding that the narcissist has a very high need for control. They have an irrational defensiveness, which implies that they have a lot of fear on the inside. They can be insensitive, and like the animal that brings their damaged self to the table, there are ways that you want to engage with them, and there are ways that you don't want to engage with them. And so I want to talk with you about how you can have this narcissist whisperer approach towards them, so that at least on your side of the equation, there's going to be a certain amount of healthiness. And there are 5 principles that I want you to hold on to as you seek to take on this kind of mindset. Now, principle number 1 says very simply, you want to be very aware of the narcissist's woundedness. These individuals, like a damaged animal, can be bringing some of their own psychological damage to you, but the problem is they don't want to admit it and they don't want to see it for what it is. But they've been on the receiving end of rejection. They've been on the receiving end of a lot of conditional kinds of statements about how they're going to be received. They feel like they have to be superior, but it's all a part of a compensation for their own hidden sense of inadequacy. And so their own woundedness comes out typically as anger or as reluctance to engage on a real loving kind of basis. And so they don't really have the ability to engage with you because they're so busy throbbing from the inside out. It's almost as though they have a cancer to the inside of their psychological self, and it's just spread, and it just kind of has taken over. Well, that being said, then principle number 2 is for you to develop an understanding that says the narcissist's pessimistic outlook has indeed taken over their inner energy. They don't know how to trust. They don't know how to appreciate the goodness that other people bring. It's like, I don't really know if that's the real deal or not. Their sense of patience or the ability to have tenderness and gentleness is damaged. Sometimes they can go there, but more often than not, it doesn't last very long. Some of them can't even do that very well. Instead, they're constantly on the prowl for supply, to looking for people to prop them up, to make them feel good about themselves. And then here it sets them up for their anger and their agitation when they don't get their supply. Now, principle number 3 states, learn to see yourself as a separate and distinct person from that narcissistic energy. Narcissists want to get inside your head and your heart and take over who you are. In fact, we've actually described narcissists as being thieves. They want to rob you of you. But instead, you want to see yourself as saying, no, my mind belongs to me. My heart belongs to me. My emotions belong to me. And I'll not let that narcissistic person enter in, because they'll take over and run it into the wrong kind of direction. And so you want to see yourself as separate and distinct. Now, principle number 4 states, your goal is not to change the narcissist. Your goal instead is to have your own internal sense of steadiness. That's hugely important. Many times people get caught up with the narcissistic mindset by arguing back and pleading their case and begging and cajoling and trying to convince. And in doing so, they just match pitch with the narcissist. When you drop the goal of trying to reform that person, instead what you do is you acknowledge, I need to work on the one person I can do something with, and that's within me. Which then leads us to principle number 5, and that is you want to commit to calm firmness. And when I say calm firmness, I'm hoping that there's a sense in you that says, I don't take my cues from the narcissist. I already have my own sense of internal peace. I like who I am. I like what I stand for, my values, my personality is reasonable enough as it is. And if I match with the narcissist, that would be wonderful. But if I don't, that's okay too. And as you have that sense of calm firmness that you bring, in essence, I was going to use that word essence, it means that you have a sense of essence about you that says, I have the ability to find steadiness and peace from within myself. My energy determines who I'm going to be, not that narcissistic energy. Now, in a very simple kind of way, let's suppose that the narcissist is being very argumentative. Well, the unhealthy approach, you just jump in there and you start arguing with them, or you get offended and all like that. The narcissist whisperer thinks, that's who you are. There's a damage on the inside. I understand where it is, but I see myself as separate and distinct. And so as they come at you with all sorts of accusations or blaming statements, okay, I'm separate. And I have a peace that I'm going to draw from within me. And so if that person feels the need to argue, what I'll do is I'll say, here's my position, or this is what makes sense to me. And then if they want to predictably downplay that, which they will, and offer invalidation, well, nonetheless, that's my mindset anyway. And so you have that internal sense that says, I feel no need to convince you. I feel no need to defend myself. I feel no need to make you anything other than what you are. And hopefully, even if the narcissist doesn't change, there's going to be a change inside the atmosphere of your relationships that says, I bring steadiness, I bring goodness, I bring decency. And so you learn to respond to their agitation with your steadiness. They have have you heard the proverb, don't respond to, or a soft answer turns away wrath, and don't respond to evil with evil, those kind of things. That's where I'm coming from. You may be a very troubled soul. I don't have to jump in there and be there with you. And so you have boundaries. You establish your stipulations with this tone of voice. And basically it disarms the narcissist. They don't exactly know what to do. They want to still go into the argumentative mode with you, but it's like, thanks, but no thanks. I don't go there. Now, in order for you to be able to pull off this narcissist whisperer kind of approach, there are a few thoughts that you want to hold on to that'll help you get there and stay there. And that is, first, you want to realize that strength does in fact come through gentleness. The narcissist thinks that strength comes from insults, or that strength comes from condescension or invalidation of other individuals. And I'm thinking, if you have to insult and invalidate other people so that you're going to feel strong, what does that tell us about the status of your inner personal energy? It's like it's broken. When you're able to have a calm, gentle approach, and by the way, this doesn't mean that you don't have assertiveness or that you don't have stipulations or boundaries and things of that nature. You can still have that, but you do it without pounding that other person into the ground. Then that's where we know that there's such a sense of well-being on the inside of you that a troubled, broken, wounded soul like the narcissist is not going to take it over. Can you think like that? And then predictably, when the narcissist attempts to throw you off of that strong firmness or that calm firmness, Don't defend. Stay your course. And hold your ground and separate off if you need to, but you want to separate yourself off with a sense of decency, not with a punishing attitude or an I'll show you, but there's just this sense that says, I stand for decency, and if I have to move away from you in order to find it, I'm willing to do that. I feel no need to seek out your approval or get your understanding. This requires a sense of what I call delicate detachment. And that's what the Narcissist Whisperer is going to do. They unhook. It's like my emotional stability is not attached to you. My sense of direction and how I communicate and how I conduct myself is not filtered through you. I unhook, I'm detached, and when I say delicate detachment, I'm not detached in a mean or caustic kind of way. I'm just detached with a sense of decency and dignity. Now, in order for you to be this Narcissist Whisperer, consistency is going to be the key. And so I'm hoping that you can kind of pull back and recognize I don't filter my life through a narcissist's opinions or through a narcissist's emotional responses to me. There's a sense of transcendence that I filter my life through. In other words, there's something bigger going on here. I'm committed to love and goodness and kindness and decency and dignity. Remember my DRC, dignity, respect, and civility. That's my transcendence. That's what I want to stand for. And if this troubled person in front of me can't go there, then I'm going to respond with my own sense of calmness and assuredness that says, I know I'm on a right path. You're not going to pull me off of it. I don't have to have you come along with me. I'm going to be a person of goodness and peace. Can you think like that? When you do, that's when you know that there's a maturation that the narcissist simply can't take away from you. And I hope that you can make that a centerpiece to your personality. Now, I do hope that videos such as this will inspire you to do some good soul searching. I appreciate you allowing me to be along the way in your journey. If you've not already done so, I would encourage you to hit that subscribe button below, and we'll keep you aware of new videos that come along. We have a website, survivingnarcissism.tv. We have a lot of articles and videos and promotions and quizzes, things like that, and extras that you wouldn't necessarily have here. It's meant to be an augmentation of what we're doing on YouTube. In addition, if you would like to connect with somebody who can counsel with you online, we have a link there with people that can help you. Also, if you would be interested in online at-home testing for hormonal imbalances, we have a link that will help you learn to know your body better. And then we also have links to my online video workshops and my books and even coffee mugs. Just know that I want you to have a sense of steadiness, a sense of peacefulness, a sense of decency about you, knowing that we live in a world that has a whole lot of upheaval, but you're not required to have to be a party to all of that. You can be in it, but you can also learn how to be separate from it. That's when you know that you can become the Narcissist Whisperer. Now, all of that being said, I do indeed wish for you calmness, steadiness. I wish for you peace.